Okay.
Hello, everybody. I am here, joined by Gary Yourofsky for today's stream. Say hello.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody.
All right, we're gonna do something special today on the stream. We're gonna talk to, have a chat about a vegan world, what it is, how it's gonna look, and how Gary envisions it. He's been fighting for it for such a long time. So, yeah, let's get into it. Anything you want to say before we start, Gary?
Support Sasha Farm. Go to sashafarm.org. Help the animals at sanctuaries. If Sasha Farm is too far away from you and there's a sanctuary closer, I don't care, but help a sanctuary. Animals that have been rescued from the hellholes that we've created, they deserve everything. So please give them money and give them time. They always need volunteers wherever. So thank you very much for that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm definitely going to donate right after the stream. And I put the link in the chat. If you can, please donate to Sasha Farms. Please donate to a sanctuary next to you. If you can make it kind of a monthly donation, I kind of do that. That would be amazing as well. Gary, do you think we get to a vegan world in our lifetime?
That is a heavy question you're asking me. My goodness. It might depend on which day you ask me.
I'm asking today. Let's go.
Yeah, how I'm feeling. Well, I'm feeling good today. So today I'm going to say it is possible. It would be a wonderful thing that would happen. Animals no longer being viewed as commodities, animals no longer being exploited, humans having a collective awakening of the conscience. It is possible if we work hard enough, but everybody has to put in some hard work. So that's what we're missing right now. Not enough activists, not enough vegans are being activists. It's great that you're vegan. Don't get me wrong. That's what I spent my whole activist career doing, converting people to veganism. But now I want to convert people into vegan activists. We all have to do our part. Just think if everybody did 5, 10, 15, 20 outreaches every day, converted half those people. Think about how much further along we could be. So don't just rely on the few people in the movement that are outspoken. Everybody do their part, do what you can do, and do it your own way. It doesn't have to be like Gary, doesn't have to be like Paul Bashir, doesn't have to be like Rafaela. It can be your own style. Just make sure you hold people accountable. Make sure you explain the pain and suffering that animals are going through. And trust me, if you do it enough, you'll get good enough at it, at explaining it, and people will start listening.
I'm going to fight you on the fact that not everybody should be like Rafael. I think everybody should be like her. But Gary, do you know what a tier list is?
Know what a what is?
A tier list.
I don't think so.
All right. So basically, I have here vegan. We can zoom in. Oh, not really. So vegan ways of doing activism. And
Okay.
S is the best way. A is under that, B, C, D, and F is an absolute fail. So I would like you to rate those really quickly, something fun to do. Veganuary and Challenge 22, what do you think?
Say it again.
As a form of activism, Veganuary and Challenge 22.
Oh, Veganuary. Oh, wow, you're putting me on the spot. You got some good questions.
Sorry.
You know what? I don't know. C.
Awesome. Why can't I drag it? Shit, it doesn't. Oh, I'm doing it I'm having a boomer
By the way,
moment. That's okay.
these old eyes have a hard time seeing that. I can't even
I'm
read
going to
what's
read it
on the
out for
screen.
you. No worries, no worries.
Okay.
So, vegan festivals, events, and potlucks.
Uh,
I'd put it in
D,
F tier. As in vegan
D,
activism, right? It's
yeah, D, yeah.
D. All
F
right.
is fine. Yeah, that's it.
Special social media postings. What do you think?
Social media postings. Well, I'm gonna give that an A. And that's because that's where I'm headed to. This is I'm going to go online and I'm going to blow up the online world in a couple months. I just hired a social media manager, Carmen. She's going to be wonderful and guide me along the way so we can do some major outreach.
Whoa, that's awesome
In
stuff.
fact, make that an S now, and
All
make
right.
that an S for Carmen. For
A little bit
Carmen.
of a little bit of bias there, though,
I'm
Gary.
sorry, it is bias. Yes.
That's all right. Vegan YouTube. What do you think? You can break my
Vegan-
heart. It's okay.
Vegan YouTube. No, isn't that the same thing as social media? I'll put that up there as an S.
All right. I think there is a difference between just from the amount of effort it takes to be like a vegan YouTuber, as opposed to a social media thing.
So where do you want to put it? Where do you want to put it? A?
Hey, I'll take the S. Come on, man.
Okay.
Vegan art. What do you think?
Well, vegan art. For activism,
Yeah,
I don't want to be so harsh.
be harsh.
D,
It's okay.
D.
D. All right. Philosophy books and articles about veganism, obviously.
Say it again.
Philosophy books and articles.
Oh, well, I'm gonna keep it at a D.
All right. This is just your opinion. Don't worry about it. You can give your opinion. Leafleting and stickering around town.
Well, we can put that up a little. We can go C.
All right. What do you think about food giveaways type of activism?
I like that. I'm going to put that in A. I think a lot of people have a horrible opinion about what plant-based food tastes like. And a lot of the people that I converted over the years, that was the first thing they were worried about. But once they tried everything and once I explained, let me just say something here. For the people out there who are not vegan, you guys have such a high bar set for plant-based food that it has to make your knees buckle and you have to shake and pass out. Stop it. You guys will eat meat from a gas station and be okay with it. You'll eat, right? You guys will stop at a food cart in the middle of nowhere, be like, oh my God, a hot dog on a bun, and meat can taste as crappy as possible, and you'll be okay with it. But the veggie burger has to be the greatest thing ever. Ease up on it, but this is good activism.
All right.
Yeah, this is good.
I kind of agree. Civil disobedience and disruption.
So, if you asked me in the 90s, I would have given it an S. In this day and age, I just don't think it's effective anymore. I don't think anybody cares if you go to jail. And keep in mind, you're talking to the guy that went to jail 13 times. There's a reason I stopped doing it, but I want to point out, it did put me on the map. Nobody cared what I had to say before I went to jail. As soon as I started going to jail, the media started calling. The professors started inviting me into their classrooms. So it did have its place in time. I just don't think its place is in this time anymore. So I'm going to put that down as a D.
Oh, whoa, controversial. What about protests? Like mass protests?
So if it's an anonymous for the voiceless protest, I'm going to give it an S. If it's education based. But if it's a sign carrying protest, I also stopped this in the year 2000 for a reason. It's just not effective anymore. Let me give an example. In America, every day after Thanksgiving, it's called Fur Free Friday. It's the biggest shopping day in America. And a bunch of vegans come out and protest the local fur store for about 4 hours. Well, in the 90s, when we were doing this, they used to call the police on us. They'd come out and scream at us. We'd scream back at them. We'd have a big crowd. Yeah. Nowadays, they don't even care because they realize, who cares? They're going to be gone in a couple hours. Let them scream and yell and march around in a circle.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah.
I don't think protests are effective unless it's education-based, like an anonymous for the voiceless cube of truth. So I'm going to put that down as a D as well.
Whoa. All right. Let's average it and put it in B. All right.
Okay. You're the boss.
Oh, because there are two kinds of the extremes, so you average it out. That's what you do.
Okay.
What about lobbying in legal advocacy?
So I'm going to put that in the middle as B. Now, it's got to be okay. So, and you know what? I give credit to yesterday's podcast. Tico explained this to me very well. He was talking about banning factory farms when they want to build a new one. You know what? That's wonderful. That's fabulous. Fuck factory farming. That is a great form of activism. I don't think, though, if you're going to try to ban the consumption of meat, something like that, that would never work until you educated the public. So even if Donald Trump came out in America tomorrow and said the consumption of meat and cheese and milk and eggs is banned, nobody would follow it. It would never be enforced. But banning factory farms, I think, is wonderful. I'm not thrilled about welfare stuff in any way, though. So if you're looking to ban battery cages, I know battery cages are evil. If you're looking to ban gestation crates, I know they're evil. But to me, that just makes it harder to go back to the table later on and explain, wait, it's wrong to exploit pigs and murder them. Because they did this in America in 2002 in Florida. I was the only activist opposing this. I said, you're going to make my job harder when I go lecture at the University of Central Florida. And sure enough, they succeeded in banning gestation crates.
Yeah.
The next year, I went back and lectured like I always did. And the student said, I thought we can eat pigs now, Gary. You guys banned gestation crates. No, wait a second. Pigs are still being exploited. They're still being raped. The females are still having their babies stolen from them. We're still killing baby pigs at 6 months. You're still murdering pigs. So it makes the job harder. But getting rid of the whole factory farm to begin with, fabulous, absolutely fabulous form. So if it's if it's that, I'm still going to give that a B because of the other things that people are messing around with when it comes to lobbying.
Yeah,
So,
I agree with you. I'm kind of having this exact discussion with a vegan on Blue Sky right now who says, well, I fight for both. I fight for euthanasia, for animals to be slaughtered, and I fight against slaughter. I'm like, those are contradicting fucking things, right? Because welfare, giving them euthanasia, you are fighting for slaughter while saying you're also fighting against slaughter. You're fighting against yourself.
I think that's fabulous the way you broke it down. That would be horrible. And you're going to make the meat, dairy, and egg eater think it's okay. Oh, so you euthanize the animals. Now it's okay that we can kill them and exploit them. No, I don't like that at all. I think that's a bad road. And I'm not, listen, I can be harsh at times. I'm just trying to be truthful. To me, the people that are engaging in bad forms of lobbying like that, that's the realm for ineffective activists who can't take it further. You got to go further and push it. You got to push the envelope. Such as, instead of doing that, well, why don't you just try to ban the factory farm? Why don't you just get rid of the whole place? Don't try to take out a little piece of the puzzle. It's not enough. And listen, I was in jail for 77 days for the mink liberation in 97. I was doing a hunger strike. So for 10 days, they put me in the hole. And it's just like you see in the movie. I'm in a little box, a concrete box. Yeah, it was terrible. Well, they finally took me out of the hole and put me back in general population. Guess what? I was still in prison. So okay, I had a little more space. It didn't matter. My brain was already shut down and messed up from being in the prison system, in the cage. Get me out of the cage. Don't give me a bigger cage. I lived it. I went through that. I'm positive the animals feel the same way.
And just to clarify a little bit, when you say ban factory farms, people would think you're having a contradiction here because they would say, well, then you're like justifying small farms. Well, I think once you ban factory farms, you basically are banning meat because like there is no way we can go back to a system where like there are small farms with 100 cows. That's just not going to happen.
I agree, but maybe I didn't say it, but I'll say it now. Ban factory farm, fuck factory farming, fuck cage free, fuck free range, fuck all the other forms of cruelty too. That's just the most superfluous form of cruelty right now. So yeah, let's get rid of the 95% horror.
There you go.
And then I'm not pushing people to cage free. That's taking out the huge part of the puzzle for the meat industry, the dairy industry, how they make so much money. They'll collapse after that. If we got rid of factory farm, yeah, just like you said, that the whole system would collapse.
There you go. I put a few spicy ones in here, despite saying, well, this is a feel-good thing. But this is what could lead to an interesting thing. Infighting, what do you think? As a form of vegan activism.
F, absolute F. And I don't know if people saw it or if you saw it. I did a video on my Instagram last week, and I condemn myself. I used to be the biggest infighter around, and I absolutely am horrified as I look back at all the battles I had. It's unnecessary. Now, it's okay. It's okay to have tactical differences because we're going to have those, but there's no reason to cancel somebody over those differences or be vitriolic with people over that. Just explain your case like what we're doing now. I think this would be the best avenue. I don't think this is going to be a great avenue. So infighting is horrible.
All right.
Evil. It needs to stop. Everybody, and by the way, it's animal rights people aren't the only people engaging in it. Like human beings are incorrigible all over the spectrum. If you could talk about religion, right? There are different sects in Christianity and all the other religions because people can't get along and they hate each other. They start fighting. Black Republicans and black Democrats in America no longer share their blackness because they're fighting over politics. So everybody needs to stop with all this horrible infighting and just explain your differences peacefully.
Well, I think that's why we kind of need to learn some formal logic a little bit. And like, I definitely am a calmer debater after doing that.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. How about?
And by the way, this is also Gary 2.0. I don't want to fight anymore, honestly.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm so full of passion, like most vegans. Sometimes I stray, and I did it a couple times already these last few months, and I'm really upset with myself. I'm very passionate. I got a lot of fire, but honestly, at the end of the day, I don't want to fight anymore. I don't. And even if we disagree, okay, it's okay to disagree without hating somebody, everybody. And I know I got a lot of haters, so I'm biased too, as you brought up before, with me being biased towards Carmen. Everybody ease up. It's okay to say, I don't like Gary's position on humans, but man, that guy's one hell of an animal rights activist, because that's what I signed up for. So it's okay to disagree with me and anyone else. You don't have to get rid of me or anyone else because of it.
Gary 2.0 is spreading the love. Amazing. I'm going to hold you up to that, Gary.
Please do. Call me out whenever I go too far.
All right. How about exposure to rescued animals as a form of vegan activism? Like sanctuaries.
I think that's fabulous, and that's why I love Sasha Farm so much and all sanctuaries. I can't tell you how many people I brought down there. Let me give you a quick story. I once brought somebody down there that started hearing the animals make their sounds, and he looks at me, says, I didn't think chickens and turkeys really made those sounds. I thought it was only in cartoons. This is how disconnected everybody is from the animal kingdom, especially the animals that they're abusing and eating. So it was important to bring them there to see these animals. And then, hey, go pet a chicken, go pet that turkey, go pet that cow. Look that cow in his eye and tell him that he should be your steak tonight, that he should be your hamburger, and tell me how you feel about that. And people would cry. I would make them do it. So no, you're the one abusing them. I want you to go up and introduce yourself to the pig. And something else that I've heard a lot, and you have too, is don't you hate when people make these horrible slurs against animals? They say, oh, cows are stupid. Oh, pigs are filthy. Oh, chickens are this or that. I would come back with that and say, I'm just curious, how many pigs do you know? How many chicken friends do you have?
Yeah.
And they'd always shut up and say, well, none. I said, well, that's amazing to me that you're making commentary on somebody that you've never met before. You want to talk about prejudice? You want to talk about discrimination at its highest form? You're making an assessment on somebody that you don't even know, because I know a lot of pigs. I've known hundreds of chickens and cows and turkeys over the years, and they're nothing like how you describe them to be. They're individuals, they're smart, they want to have fun, they want to play sometimes. Sometimes they don't, just like our dogs and our cats. Sometimes they want to hang out, sometimes they don't. It depends on them. So they are individuals in their own right and deserve to be respected and treated and viewed as such.
Gary, what do you think? An idea? I'm just full of ideas. Making it like a 24/7 like sanctuary camera, just like.
Oh, that'd be fabulous. I think that I give that an S. That's
All
a
right.
fabulous idea.
Okay,
Yeah, people
suggest it
should
to
see.
somebody. You're higher up. I just have ideas. Somebody should execute it, though. Not me, not me.
Yeah.
What about, and this one is a personal struggle, Twitter debating with carnivore dieters as a form of vegan activism?
Well, it's it'd be a really good form of activism if the person on the other end would actually listen.
Yeah.
So that was always my problem with online stuff, why I never really got involved. I saw too much of the other side just already typed out their responses. As soon as you said something, their response already came through. And in my head, I'm saying, wait, you didn't even have time to read what I wrote. There's no way you read it. So
I think you were talking to a bot, Gary.
yeah, but so unless you can convince me the other person really wants to have a debate,
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's an F. But if you convince me the other person is listening and willing to have a debate, I like debates. Hey, most of my Q&A sessions, and I did 2,660 of them, most of them turned into debates, and that's great because I was able to prove our point, to prove the case why veganism needs to be in existence, to prove why animals don't deserve to be raped and have their heads chopped off and be denied sunlight. So debates are great, but the other person has to listen.
I agree. Maybe I will stop finally. God damn it. It's just so much fun, Gary. They're so stupid. I'm sorry.
I know,
I'm gonna stop.
I get it. Listen, and by the way, if you want to do it just to release tension and stress, okay, I'll give that a big thumbs up. I had to do that once in a while when I had my bad Q&A sessions. I had to go off on people and bully the bullies. I am the king bully. You want to be a bully? Well, you're messing with the wrong guy today because I'm going to defend the animals at any cost. And it did feel better at the end of the day. Now, of course, I wanted every class to listen. And for the most part, just let me throw this out there, I averaged 200 lectures a year. 180 to 185 had no divisive comments. That's how successful education-based activism is. But there were 15 or 20 that turned into a crazy Jerry Springer show, just people screaming and yelling. And there was nothing I could do about it. It wasn't my fault because the other 180, 185 did work. I had to realize that. People know this too. If somebody screams and yells at you, it's not you, it's them. They weren't ready to hear the message and they refused to hear the message. So don't think a certain style is going to be better. Don't waste your time going, well, if I'm extra nice, they'll listen. Bullshit. You can be extra nice and they're still going to tell you to fuck off. You can be extra harsh like I am at times and they can be like, oh my God, I needed that extra kick in the ass. I get it. Thanks for calling me out. It always depends on the listener and not the messenger.
Yeah, I agree. Generally speaking, although I do try to be nicer, I just think there are better results. You know,
nice is good. I don't. I didn't know. I didn't start out harsh. They made me harsh usually.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, today we relieve some of that harshness from you, Gary. Today we are talking about nice things. Speaking of single animal rescue, direct action. Do you think?
S. I love direct action. I think it's fabulous. I don't care if it's one chicken or 1,542 mink like I tried to liberate in 1997. I think direct action is number 2 right behind education-based activism. But let me put an asterisk next to this. Be prepared for harsh consequences if you get caught. It could be severe. I think I caught the tail end of the light sentencing in the late 90s. I got 6 months. Nowadays, if you do a mink liberation at a fur farm, you're more likely to get 3, 5, 7, 8, maybe even 10 years. So the consequences could be drastic. Be prepared for that. And it's wonderful to give your freedom or your life for the animals, for a cause. Just be prepared that might happen if you're going to do direct action.
Gotcha. What about undercover investigations?
I think it's fabulous. We have to expose and show people exactly what's going on because nobody believes it.
Yeah.
I'll give you another example. There were some times teachers and professors said, Gary, I don't want you to show the slaughterhouse video. I said, well, if you're not going to let me show the video, I will not show up to the lecture. But Gary, you're so graphic already. I said, you don't understand. The human mind won't let you fathom how evil a slaughterhouse could be. It won't let you fathom baby male chicks in the egg industry being ground up while they're fully conscious, because they don't lay eggs and they're just byproducts. No matter what I say, you will not be able to envision it unless you see it. So undercover work is essential. Yeah, definitely an S. Big thumbs up for that. But again, be prepared. If you're going to do that, you're going to be scarred for life.
Yeah.
I did a lot of undercover work, and a lot of the footage I was showing in my slaughterhouse footage back in the day, it was mine, and it's still to this day. If I hear a song that I used over the slaughterhouse, I have to turn it off because every image comes back in my mind, and I'm scarred, and I cry, and I break down, I freeze up. It ruins my whole day. So that's a thumbs up to anybody who can do that over the long term, because the last time I went was around 2000, 2001. I got to tell you real quick. I went to an auction house. And it was the first time the animals actually didn't recognize me, which broke my heart. All they saw was a two-legged devil, because that's what humans are to animals. And I was trying to talk to them. Wait, it's me. I'm just getting footage. I'm going to show people what you're going through. And these two cows and two sheep turned in horror and started shivering at me. And if I told you more, I'd break down and cry. Not there's anything wrong with crying. I just don't feel like crying right now while I'm discussing what needs to be discussed. Just say that it was the last time I could ever go inside of a place of torture. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking stuff to see. You're seeing the victims in
Yeah.
these horrible, evil states, and it's so heavy to deal with, man. But thumbs up to anybody, especially, yeah, there's a lot of great activists out there doing some great undercover work too.
Yeah, I almost had the opportunity slash almost sign up to do undercover investigations. I think maybe 5 or 6 years ago. It didn't work out in the end, but I was willing to do it. Yeah, I don't know what would have become of me, frankly. All right. What about outreach and street or online outreach?
Well, as long as it's education-based activism,
Yeah.
I'll give that an S. Yeah, outreach is great. That's what it's all about. Nobody has a clue what's going on, and that's how society has set it up. Everywhere we look, from the government to religion, media to our parents, everybody lies to everybody about what animals are going through. And outreach is the only way to break those lies and inform people about the injustices. Big thumbs up to outreach, of course.
Yeah, and last one, most controversial, I think, lab-grown meat or lab-grown animal products. What do you think?
Well, I don't think it's controversial, to be honest with you. I'm going to put that up there as an S. If I may explain for a second. So you opened the show asking me, is a vegan world possible? What do I think? I said, depends on which day. So yesterday, I think I was asked this, if not yesterday, last week on a podcast, and I didn't feel like it was possible, except for the fact that the cell meat industry might actually save the day for all these billions of land animals, because there are days I don't think humans are capable of having a collective awakening. I want ethics to be the reason for animal liberation, but a lot of times I think once the meat, dairy, and egg industry realizes how much money they're going to save with cell meat, and I'll break this down in a pretty simple way. Right now, they have to pay a farmer to have a field of crops. They got to pay that farmer to grow the crops. They got to buy the John Deere tractors to cut those crops down, bag out those crops. They got to get a truck they got to pay for to put the crops on the truck, pay for the gasoline and the oil on the truck, pay for the truck driver to get those crops to the animals. Then you got to pay somebody to take those crops out and feed all these animals. You got to have a facility for these animals, whether it's a feedlot, a factory farm, whatever, cage-free, free range. Then you got to pay somebody to take those animals once they're fattened up, put them back on the truck. You got to pay for that truck. You got to pay for the driver, pay for the gasoline. You got to pay for the slaughterhouse facility that you take those animals to elsewhere. You got to pay the slaughterhouse workers. You got to cut up those animals into pieces. Then you still got to take all those cut up body parts, take them to a processing plant where you cut them up more, wrap them up, put them on the truck to the grocery store or the restaurant. Wait a second. I thought these guys were doing this to make money. When these stubborn fools in the meat, dairy, and egg industry realized, wait, we can have just one large building, and in one side of the building, we're going to grow meat. And for everybody, anyone opposing this, it's a biopsy. We've all had biopsies. I never really minded when animals were treated equally with humans. In fact, isn't that what we're asking for? I'll do the first biopsy on the cow too, by the way. Radical Gary, I will take those cells so billions of other animals don't have to suffer and die. You take the cells, you grow them. You're growing them without a brain, without a central nervous system. It's just flesh you're growing on a clothesline. So once they realize you grow the flesh in one area, then you just move it to the other side of the building where you cut it up, package it up, and send it out to the restaurants and groceries. They're going to realize, oh my God, we're going to save billions and billions of dollars. So I do see most likely that scenario happening. But I want to also say something else because this is horrible. There's a term being tossed about a lot when we talk about human rights issues, and it's the word genocide. I want people to use the right words when they talk about things. Massacre is the right word. It's not genocide. And I don't care which side you're on. The Jewish side or the Palestinian side, neither side ever had a genocide.
Gary, just to remind
them.
you, good vibes today, good vibes.
Yeah, good vibes. I'm just saying genocides are evil, but the only beings on this planet that have suffered a genocide are animals. Where's the dodo bird? Where's the western black rhino? Where's the pinta tortoise, the golden toad? There are thousands of animals that have been wiped off this planet. Humans, no matter which religion or race, there are others elsewhere. It's not a genocide. But my point on this is humans are so selfish that if we do the cell meat industry, or even if we had a collective awakening, we would no longer want cows, pigs, chickens, and turkeys on this planet because we don't think they're of any use. There would be a genocide committed against these beings. That would be horrible and evil, but I'll tell you what, I'll take a genocide instead of perpetual slavery, perpetual murder, perpetual rape, perpetual baby stealing, because it has to end at some point. Mm-hmm. But I just want proper terms to be used when you're talking about issues, and I don't care if it's animal rights or human rights. I've never used the word genocide when I describe what humans are doing to animals, because we're reproducing them. Unless we're talking about the animals people have hunted into extinction, that would be a genocide. So be careful about terminology, use the proper words.
Sure. Just to give another side of lab-grown meat, it even can be probably attained without exploiting an animal for a biopsy. So there are I went through this on my channel, so people know. There are like a few situations where you can just grab some cells and make them into a cell meat.
That would be great too. I don't care how it's done in the least exploitative way, but
yeah,
everybody has to realize there are I think now I heard 70 billion land animals every year being murdered, trillions of marine animals. We have to find a way to stop it. And if it's going to be cell meat instead of an ethical awakening, I'll take it. Sign me up.
By the way, it's not an evil. Oh, cell meat can predate awakening, right? We can still fight for the awakening after, like, most animals are no longer like exploited and slaughtered, right?
Sure, absolutely. And there's obviously other industry. I mean, meat, dairy, and egg, they're responsible for about 98% of the cruelty on this planet, the exploitation. But of course, we have a vivisection industry we have to destroy. Yeah. Circuses, rodeos, dog racing, horse racing, the horse carriage industry. For crying out loud, 29 years as a vegan, I really did think, this is why, depending on the day you ask me about something, I'm encouraged or discouraged. In 29 years, how has dog racing still existed? How does horse racing or horse carriages or rodeos, things that are blatant forms of cruelty, and these horses have bits put in their mouth to
Yeah.
control them? One of the worst things that you can do to any creature. We used to do it to black slaves in America. I'm sure other slaves around the world had it. You control somebody with the tender area of their mouth. That's vicious and vile, and it hurts. And be careful about terminology too. Too many people, vegans too, say, I'm chomping at the bit. That is horrible. They're chomping at the bit because it's painful. They want it out of their mouth. Don't ever say that term when you're excited about something. That's not why horses do it, because they're excited. They're in pain. Please, everybody, stop using that term.
All right. So the tier list is done. I'm going to post it, by the way, for people who want to see Gary's associations there. But next question. What do you think? Do we need to slow down climate change to create a vegan world?
I don't think that would have to do with making a vegan world in any way, to be honest with you. And I don't even like using the term. I don't really like using environmental stuff anymore. I will. I know it's valid. Listen, if it's brought up to me, I'll come back with it that, hey, 50% of the crops on the planet are used for the meat, dairy, and egg industry. The worst form of environmental destruction is animal agriculture. It's okay to use those terms. I just don't like leading with that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how many people really give a shit about that when they don't understand the ethics of it.
I think it's a self-stopping cliche at this point. When people say, well, the environment though, right? They say, well, the vegan diet is going to be worse for the environment. It's a self-stopping cliche. They don't really care.
Right, they don't care, and it's not true, but they also don't care.
Yeah.
It's kind of like them bringing up crop deaths. They don't care about pheasants and insects anymore that they care about cows, pigs, and chickens. And for the record, we are all responsible for crop deaths. I hate this argument from the meat, dairy, and egg eaters. We know, first of all, I just said 50% of the crops are used for meat, dairy, and egg industries. But listen, I didn't go out there and tell people to stop eating crops. We all drive cars, vegans included. We all use heat and air conditioning and have cell phones that have been, and the materials from the cell phones have been mined and destroyed the earth. But we're all doing it, so we're all on an equal plane.
Yeah.
This is why vegans are still more ethical and better than non-vegans, because they go a step further and say, on top of that, though, I'm not going to exploit cows, pigs, chickens, turkeys, and fish, and I'm not going to support vivisection, circuses, rodeos. So veganism is still the answer. Don't let anybody, for the vegans out there, pull that crop death shit with you, and don't let them off the hook for it, because it's a bullshit argument, and on its surface it's bullshit. Why? Because they don't care. They're just trying to catch us in a contradiction when they are a walking contradiction, claiming that humans are created in the image of God and humans know everything and we're moral agents and we know right from wrong. I challenge this too nowadays. I don't know how you feel, but I'm tired of this humans are moral agents stuff. Right from wrong? Where? When? When have humans known right from wrong? You got to be kidding me. You mean the biggest the biggest liars, the biggest destroyers of everything, the biggest slave owners? What do you mean all we do is enslave and harm and rape and kill humans and animals for thousands of years, and we got the nerve to walk around like we're an ethical species? Herbivores are ethical species. They've attained a higher level of consciousness. They live not to exploit anybody else. I love me some herbivore animals.
Yeah. You ask me how I feel. Well, I usually use it. I know that people feel like moral and especially intellectual superiority, so I use it in my activism. I ask them, is that how you're going to choose to use your superior intellect, by telling me about crop deaths?
Right.
Anyways.
That's good. I like that. I like it. I'm challenging it because listen, since the beginning of time, all we do is harm and kill somebody else, whether it's humans, whether it's animals. And keep in mind, we did practice on the animals first, why we became so good at oppressing human beings, right? Whether it's blacks or women, whether it's children, whether it's gays, whether it's trans people, we've become experts at being discriminators because we start with speciesism, and that's the oldest and worst form of discrimination. It's the oldest form of racism too. The human race versus animal race form of racism.
Yeah, I agree. A bit controversial. I don't know how good vibes we're going to get out of this. 2 questions. one about which financial system will get us there the quickest, and the other one, which political party would get us there the quickest. Gary, be careful.
Well, okay, which political party? Here, let me go. I don't think any political party truly cares about animals.
Yeah.
I don't think either side cares really about the earth, to be honest with you. I know one side claims to, but even that side, obviously, they don't practice veganism. They don't practice ethical behavior. It's just a bunch of talk to me. So I don't like Demopublicans or Republicrats. And I think they're one and the same. But I'm going to shock people. When I traveled the country in America, I had an easier time talking to conservatives than I did to liberals. Liberals thought they were always doing enough. When I brought up veganism, they'd say, well, Gary, I already recycle and I drive a hybrid car. I have to care about cows and pigs now? Yes, yes, you do. That's what I'm saying. And there's, no, I'm doing enough. But the conservatives, at least when I walked in the classroom, they had their arms folded and said, you know what? Prove your case to me. Good. That's what I want to do. Thank you. They gave me a chance. And at the end, most of the time, I got them coming up to me saying, I'm a radical right-wing Christian conservative, and that's the best speech I ever heard in my life. I'm going vegan. You made your case. So the conservatives gave me a chance. If I could have lectured in Texas year-round, conservative state in America, I would have done it. It was a wonder. And I wasn't in Austin, Texas, the liberal area. I was in Wichita Falls. I was in Denton. I was in rural areas, conservative areas, and they were really, really good with me. But I want to be clear, overall, political parties, neither side. Trump doesn't care. Barack Obama didn't care. I want to bring this up because I remember watching this on TV, and I understand Obama is more intelligent than Trump is. But when it comes to animal issues, he's a hillbilly. Just like everybody. Everybody goes from PhD philosopher to hillbilly when you ask them to be nice to an animal. That horrible thing that happens in America on Thanksgiving, they pardon a turkey. One turkey gets his or her life spared. Well, Barack pardons the turkey. I'm watching it on TV. They didn't realize they left the microphone on. After he pardons the turkey, he leans over to his crew and he says, somebody better get that turkey away from me before I change my mind.
Holy shit.
Oh, Mr. Philosopher, brilliant genius, Stephen Hawking type person. All of a sudden, an innocent being is being tormented and killed. And does he want to actually save that innocent being? No. Like Donald Trump, like everybody else on this planet, he wants to kill and torture because he's incapable of extending compassion to those who need it most. So everybody, please know that. Stop just condemning one side and thinking the other side is great. Bernie Sanders, who's hailed as a liberal hero, he works for the dairy industry. He doesn't get it either. Okay, the left wingers don't get it, the right wingers don't get it. So I'm not crazy about political parties. Now, I did hear something nice about, maybe you can help me because I don't follow politics worldwide, Animal Justice Party somewhere in Australia, maybe? Have you heard of this? Somebody at the Cube of Truth said something. So if it's really an animal rights party that's going to get involved,
Yeah.
I can get behind that. Although I have
You
my
have
doubts
reservations.
whether
Yeah.
okay. I have doubts whether major change can be made within an unjust political system. The system is corrupt. And I don't even think well-intentioned people can make change in a corrupt system. I think the system has to be broken down and destroyed and rebuilt. I think the foundations have to be knocked down and rebuilt from scratch to make it effective.
Gotcha. Speaking of foundations, please, if you can, donate to Sasha Farm or to a sanctuary near you. Financial system, Gary? Any thoughts there?
Man, that's a tough one, post-mortem.
You can say no. You can say you don't know.
Well,
It's okay.
no, I don't like avoiding any questions. it's weird. I like being
It's not
asked new
avoidance
questions.
if you say you just don't know. It's fine.
No, I don't think, listen, I know the evils of capitalism. I get it. But I also, and maybe I'm naive, I also don't think that you have to exploit animals, the earth, or human beings to make lots of money either. And if I am being naive, don't cancel me. Just explain to me why. But I I think you can still listen. These people just want to make money. I don't think you have to harm somebody else to make money. It can be done in a certain way. So I'm not going to completely condemn capitalism, but I will point out the harm that has happened on this planet for thousands of years. The worst forms of harm happen because of capitalism. Definitely, I get that. But I think that system can be transformed into a peaceful system of making money and sharing wealth properly. Obviously, classist issues need to be dealt with.
All right, awesome. Well, let's say we reach that vegan world, right? So now let's question what it looks like. What do you think? How do you think the cities would change in the vegan world from what they are today?
Well, I think we'd have, first of all, we'd have automobiles not running on gasoline and oil, not even being electric, right? They'd be running on water, nuclear, was it a cell fusion technology? We'd have restaurants that wouldn't be serving dead animals. They wouldn't also have every carry-out container would be biodegradable, which, by the way, I don't know why this hasn't happened. Who
Money,
supports?
money.
Yeah, who supports, that a styrofoam container should be thrown in a landfill for eternity because you wanted to have a sandwich on Tuesday afternoon in August? I mean, in the world is going, or packaging and things like that. So biodegradable stuff would be out there. Vivisection obviously wouldn't exist. Dissection would not exist. We'd be using cellular biology, molecular biology, AI technology, computer models, mathematical models. So the animals wouldn't be tortured in the laboratories anymore. Circuses would be all human based. It would be the acrobats. It would be the clowns. It would be the guys in the motorcycles that get up in those huge steel circular things and riding round and round. It'd be entertainment without exploitation. Rodeos would not exist. I don't know how you can make an ethical rodeo. So get rid of the whole rodeo industry. Horse carriages would be gone as well. Horse racing, dog racing, that stuff would be gone. There would be no more hunting. Instead, we would go out into the woods and we would take pictures of the animals. Who got the most pictures of deer today instead of who killed the most deer today? It would be such a peaceful world to have, and build our roads, which some cities and countries and states are doing. The roads would be built to accommodate the animals so they wouldn't be hit by cars. There should be tunnels every 50 feet so the animals can go through, or special bridges built so the elk could cross over here without getting hit by cars. Because there's a lot of horrible forms of cruelty taking place just because we're here, because we have cars, we have homes. We would build homes instead of branching out, by the way, instead of destroying more forest. Why don't we build inward or upward instead so we can give the animals their fair share? Let's face it, there's a lot of humans on this planet fighting over land. Let's understand all this land belongs to the animals. We stole it from them, so we need to start sharing it with them more and more. Now, in a vegan world, I'd love to say humans can share, and we should be sharing, and we can all have our little areas too, but we can't continue along this path where we say everything is ours and we get to kill anybody that we label a pest when we're the biggest pest on the planet. We're the infestation of all infestations. We're the scourge of all scourges. So we would allow the animals to have their natural habitats, and we would help them too. Maybe we'd have water bowls out there and everyone would have a bird bath or something like that. I mean, whatever it is, it would be it's this beautiful image I have in my head of people getting excited when they saw animals instead of being angry because animals came into their backyard. I mean, one of my favorite joys in life is when I look out the window. Oh my God, there's 4 squirrels and they're running around and playing with each other. Oh my God, there's a cardinal in the bird bath, but there's a family of blue jays out there. Oh my God, there's a groundhog. He's standing on his hind legs. It's the cutest thing in the world. Like vegans get excited at this. I don't understand how non-vegans aren't excited at this too.
Well, I
Like
think they
what?
are. Let's be fair. I think they are. I think there's just a disconnection from very specific animals there. And there are
That's true. I was actually
psychopaths
going to
as well.
say there are certain animals that everybody gets excited with. penguins, right, whales, sloths. But it's also easy to get excited about animals you're not exploiting. So yeah, I would want them to see a chicken and go, "Oh my God, look at this chicken!" Like when I went to Hawaii years ago to visit a friend, I didn't realize there are actually wild chickens in Hawaii. I'm like, T, what? There's chickens on the road over there. She goes, I know. There's actually chickens are free. I'm like, and we're excited. I don't think the meat eaters are excited to see the wild chickens. They view them as pests. They view them as annoyances. So yeah, I would hope that everybody would get excited at every animal like vegans are, right? We love every animal. Oh, look at him. He's making a cute face. He's making a cute face. So it would be a wonderful scene.
Yeah.
I sure hope. Listen, I hope it could happen. I obviously have had dreams about this for 29 years. Some days, as I said, it's hard to keep the dream alive, depending on the interaction I had that day. I mean, even back when I was lecturing and having great lectures, let's say I did 5 great lectures in one day. I'd say, yeah, a vegan world is happening. And then the next day I had one of those bad Jerry Springer talks. I'm like, there's not a chance in the world. There's not a chance in the world we're going to make any progress. So it would be wonderful. It would be wonderful. I
Yeah.
hope it happens.
There are 2 examples that I wrote down, and Joe showed me a third one. So Joe said, first of all, vertical farming. Vertical farming should be
Yes.
specifically in cities, because then
I
it's
agree.
like
Yeah.
it gives the food like a 15-minute drive, and not like miles and miles of driving the food around, right? Second,
No.
yeah, go on.
I'm sorry, not only that, thanks for bringing that up, whoever did. Vertical indoor farming also solves infestation problems, so we wouldn't have to have any crop deaths anymore. There's a solution to the crop death issue, which the meat, dairy, and egg eaters don't want to acknowledge, and it's vertical indoor farming. But the only solution to a slaughterhouse, it isn't humane slaughter. It's burning the slaughterhouse to the ground. It's destroying. There's no nice way to be cutting off somebody else's head, and it's not with euthanasia either. So crop deaths can be solved, and yes, vertical indoor farming and it solves any climate issues. Whether you believe in climate change or not, by the way, regardless, sometimes there's a frost, sometimes there's a drought, and it has nothing to do with that. It just happens. It happened in my lifetime 40 years ago before anybody even talked about climate change. So vertical indoor farming, yes, yes, yes. Every city too, it would, yeah, that's a wonderful solution.
Yeah, 2 more examples come to mind. You said in Hawaii, chickens are just running around. Well, there is a town in Florida where there are like a few protected chickens that are running around, and you're not supposed to like catch them and kill them and all that stuff. It's illegal. And the third one is actually an initiative that happens in the UK, I think, at some point. They want to add like bricks that can also be nests for sparrows. So when they build a new building, there are like some of the bricks can be nested in, I guess, kind of situation.
No, this is fast. See, now this is now you make me have faith in human beings when you bring this stuff up. I know we're capable of great ideas and compassion that I just don't see enough of. But yes, if we put our minds together to be kind, compassionate souls and decent beings, things like, man, we'd have so many amazing ideas like that. Yeah, build animal homes into our homes. That's a fabulous, glorious idea. It makes I'm all warm all over thinking, oh my God, yes, that would be wonderful. Why can't we do this?
Well, it seems to be also like promising to pass in the UK, so that would be really awesome. Another question: what do you think we're going to do with all the subsidy money that we're spilling into animal farms right now?
Well, we can first of all help all the sanctuaries. We're going to need places for a lot of animals. How about help? How about helping the animals, helping the earth? And yes, we can help human beings too that need it. Stop wasting money with a corporate welfare. What are we giving out subsidies to billion-dollar industries for? It's just a scam upon a scam. So you do something good with the money. That's what we do with it.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to say that. Do something good. Don't do something evil with it. Help somebody, human or animal, that needs assistance. Stop giving people that don't need help a bunch of money.
Probably same goes for land, right? There's going to be a lot of land freed up, right? 75% of it, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Good, give it, and the animals need it. The animals need their land back so they can expand too, and they can live, and they can have families, and they can do whatever they want to do without human interference.
Yeah, yeah. I guess, last question, and this one is a bit tricky. I don't know how you're going to answer it. What do you think is the biggest obstacle to achieving vegan world? I know it's human beings, but be specific.
Well, I was using another term, and then I'm saying she said be nice. Let's make it fuzzy and warm. I want to say two-legged devils. Humans are the problem that we can't have a nice, peaceful world for animals and for each other. Here, let me break this. Isn't it obscene that groups of human beings have to ask other groups of human beings for equality and that they have to beg and plead for equality? And it's obscene that vegans have to be the mouthpiece of groups of beings that need equality, that deserve life and liberty. So humans are the obstacle. Humans are always the problem. And I don't know why or where we strayed so badly, why we became so selfish and arrogant and egotistical and uncaring. I don't understand it. No one can no one can explain to me. I used to say this to classrooms. How come it took 400 years to convince white slave owners in America not to have black slaves? Because to me, when I envisioned the first black person 400 years ago saying, hey, what are you doing to me and my family, man? You got us in chains. You're beating us. You're raping my wife. You're stealing our babies. What are you doing? It should have been a 2-second discussion. The other person just said, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm sorry. But this is how selfish and stubborn and stupid humans are. It took 400 years. Why should a woman have to ask a man to be treated fairly, to have the same position in a corporation, the same payment? I don't even understand. The NFL in America, the football league, there's a rule called the Rooney Rule that a team that loses a head coach has to interview at least 2 or 3 black people for that job. Why would there have to be a rule? Because there's discrimination and racism? Can people just look around and see the absurdity going on? No black person should have to beg a white person for a fair chance at a job. And the animals, too, should not have to be begging. But the reason it takes so long, how evil is this? The oppressed group has to ask the oppressor not to oppress them anymore. You want to talk about a tough sell? Because it's not like vegans aren't going to liberate the animals. Meat, dairy, and egg eaters have to liberate the animals.
Yeah.
Straight people or gay people aren't going to liberate themselves around the world and obtain equality. Straight people have to say, okay, I'm sorry, you're right. Who cares that you're gay? Right? All the black activists that I've admired, that I base my activism on, from Malcolm X and Dr. King to Rosa Parks and Harriet Tubman and Sojourner Truth and Frederick Douglass, black people did not liberate themselves in certain parts of the world. And as wonderful as they were, the Black Panthers, they didn't do it. White people had to say, okay, we're going to stop doing this. So that's also why this takes so long and why it's absurd and why humans are we're just it seemed to be an incorrigible species. I don't know why. Listen, I don't want to harm anybody else. You don't want to harm anybody else. Vegan, why can't everybody be vegan and live like this and say, you know what? Okay, we're all treated equally. That's all we're asking for. Not special treatment, fair treatment, equal treatment. Can we all just have the same rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? I don't even get that why this is a hard concept. And I got to tell you, in 2014, near the end, when I retired, when the arguments arose, in my head, I'm saying, I don't even understand why I'm arguing anymore. I asked you not to rape somebody else, not to steal somebody else's baby, and not to kill somebody, and you're fighting with me? My brain was melting. I needed to step back from the stress, and it still melts when I hear about the injustices. I don't understand how this is a hard concept for humans to grasp.
Yeah, I get it. My mistake. I asked a very, very hard question,
No,
didn't I?
it was, listen, you end up getting a nice little rant out of that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, the number one impediment, human beings are the impediment to equality. And it's a shame and it's sad. It's a sad state of affairs for human beings. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Humans technologically are brilliant. When it comes to ethics, we're parasites. We're the smartest, dumbest beings that have ever existed. Hear me on this. The smartest, dumbest beings. Yeah, you can't explain how this is even working between us, this cell phone, this Zoom call. I don't get it. You can't explain it to me. Wow, how did we figure this out? But we can't figure out how to be nice to somebody else that looks and acts differently than we do. This is a hard concept to me. Who cares what somebody looks like or acts like, as long as they're a decent person and not harming somebody else? Hey, whatever. You want to be gay, you want to be trans, you happen to be black, you happen to be Asian, I don't care. You happen to walk on all fours, you have fur, feathers, horns, beaks, or gills. Hey, you're sentient. You're alive. You don't want to be harmed. And you know what? I'm going to do everything in my power not to take advantage and not to harm you. It's a simple concept that humans just can't grasp. Why? We are the smartest, dumbest beings ever.
Well, fantastic, fantastic. I agree with a lot of stuff there. Gary, I appreciate you for coming. I'm run out of questions. If you want to say some more stuff, let's go. But
Listen, I just want to give a big shout out to Sasha Farm again. I got to drive this home. The main reason I came back into activism, they're struggling right now. So please help Sasha Farm make a donation. And if you don't want to donate to a sanctuary that is not close to you, donate to your closest sanctuary. And I want to thank you. I've done 30, maybe 40 podcasts since I've come back. Why you gave me all new questions. I love it. I mean, sometimes it was fabulous. I enjoyed this a lot, and I want to point this out to everybody. I wasn't given questions in advance. I did prepare. I love freestyling these days, and you really forced me to do it. And thank you so much. And I'd like to do it again, maybe at the end of the year, later this year. We can have another discussion, come up with some new questions like this. Count me in. This was fabulous. I want to share this link with everybody as soon as I get off with this. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I was trying. Everybody in the chat, thank you for coming. Gary, thank you very much again. See you next time.
All right. Peace out.